You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about George Foreman. He was on Fox News Primetime last night, and he made some extremely pro-American comments. Imagine that. Imagine that from a former sports athlete, a former world heavyweight champion, boxing great. A little that flies in the face of all these woke athletes that are claiming to hate America, like Gwen. And George Foreman is unapologetic about his love for the country. This is what athletes used to be about. Absolutely. And George Foreman even talks about a great story talking about how the police helped him get involved with boxing. Very, very cool stuff. Let's talk about this right now. George Foreman pans anti-Americanism among some athletes. I will never turn my back on America. Retired world champion boxer George Foreman sounded off Wednesday as several high-profile U.S. athletes continue to publicly express anti-Americanism in concert with some segments of social society. Foreman, 72, who won a gold medal at the 68 Mexico City Olympics that also predominantly featured two black power gestures on the podium of the United States, Tommy Smith, John Carlos, just did a video about them, told Fox News Primetime that he, quote, always loved America. The host asked him how Foreman, who is black, continued to celebrate America even as institutionalized segregation and conflicted views about Vietnam War were still fresh in people's minds during the prime of his career. Quote, I always loved America. And once you fall in love, it's just like falling in love with your wife. I hope not my first wife. No one can say anything about her, Foreman remarked. The next night, she is still my wife, and I'm going to stay. That's why you make that thing. Until death do we part. That's why nothing has ever shook my faith and my love in my country. And when you love a country, nothing can bother you. If you are halfway in love, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. That is a fact, George Foreman. Foreman said that people of all backgrounds and from all parts of the country helped him through his journey to the pinnacle of athletics, saying that they represented why he truly loves this country. In addition, Foreman heaped praise on President Lyndon Johnson, Hall of Famer Jim Brown, and fellow boxer Muhammad Ali. He added that despite current views of law enforcement by political factions, the nation's police departments have played a key role in the elevation of minority youth and athletes. Thank you, George Foreman. Quote, it was the police who started the PAL, Police Athletic League. They taught us how to box. They would travel from one state to another to see that we won these Golden Gloves tournaments. They sent us off to the Olympics. I have this fond memory and this love for this country and the people in this country. Nobody will ever talk me out of that. That's love, Foreman reiterated. He characterized the anti-American sentiment gripping parts of the country as, quote, fashion. It's all fashionable to be anti-American. To a point, he's absolutely right. It's fashionable. People ask me, what are you talking about? Can't you see what was done then and what was done now? Can't you see? And I tell them swiftly, you can't talk me out of my love. In this week's Olympics matchup, Sweden's women's soccer team blanked the United States. It is refreshing to see somebody stand up and be so blatantly unapologetic and loud about their love for this country. Great job, George Foreman. He is from a town I grew up in, Marshall, Texas. I grew up there, grew up at Caddo Lake. It is awesome It is awesome. George Foreman walked some of the same streets I walked when I was a kid. That's awesome. It's also great that he is pro-police when so many of these athletes act like the police is the worst thing in the world. Good God, we have seen what happens when you defund the police, and now these idiots are having to go back and kowtow down and refund the police. Guess what? You need to pour more money into law enforcement in many of these areas around the country. It could do a lot of good. There's nothing wrong with being pro-American, regardless of your race. Maybe if you embraced it a little more, you'd get a little further in life. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Work hard. Apply yourself. It's got nothing to do with your race at all. That's why this country is great. If you're willing to bust your ass, you can be most anything. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.